We've got a playing card today. A Beetlejuice playing card at that. That's pretty cool, right? Today I'm going to be sharing something that's pretty close to my heart and pretty relevant to my life currently. My wife and her family have experienced quite a lot of loss this year. They have lost 3 crucial members to their family, 2 matriarchs and 1 patriarch. And it has been a brutal 6 months for this family. They have had to come together and join each other in grief in ways that I've actually never seen before, and it's been really hard for this family and for my wife. And we just got home yesterday from the funeral of her grandfather. It had me really thinking a lot about today's topic. Today's question is, how do I find comfort with the reality of death when you no longer hold the beliefs that you once held? For some of you who know me, and I kind of mention it quite a bit in my videos, but I used to be a very devout Christian, and I no longer am a devout Christian. I would not call myself an atheist. I would call myself a hopeful agnostic, because I do have hope that there is something greater than just nothing. But I don't have the comfort of Christianity like I once did. And it's been a rough journey. It's been one that I wouldn't wish on anyone. But it's been my journey, and I've grown a lot and I've learned a lot. But there are times where it's difficult. Christianity offers a peace and a comfort that really helps the soul sometimes. This video will be incredibly helpful to anyone that is on their deconstruction journey, or anyone that is exploring new ways to relate to mortality. It's a little bit of a somber one, but again, I thank you so much for being here. Let's get right into it. Welcome on in. So, I want to talk about the grief of letting go of your past beliefs. I think that a lot of people believe that people who deconstruct their faith or have a crisis of faith, that they choose it and that it's just something that's so easy because you're just doing what your heart desires and you're going to go follow in this sinful life. But that's not the reality for most of us. Most of us leave because of various different reasons that don't have anything to do with wanting to choose sin. At least that's my case. There's a lot of grief that comes along with letting go of your faith. And I've noticed recently, throughout the last 6 months, because of all of the death that I've seen this year, there's a lot of grief in losing the comfort that I once had in Christianity. Christianity offers you a comfort that you're going to see your loved ones again when they pass on. There's almost a celebration because you know, if they were Christians, if they believed in the gospel, that they're going to heaven. There's a lot of certainty and security in knowing that. And when you take that away, you strip that comfort away. Christianity brings with it the hope of heaven and eternity and reunion with loved ones. It brings a type of certainty and a type of meaning to life that is hard to replicate anywhere else. I want it to be known that my hope for this video is to not sway anyone away from their belief systems, away from Christianity. That is not my heart. That is not my intention. Honestly, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. It's really difficult. And I just want that to be known. So if you feel like it's going to make you question your faith system, go ahead and click off. That's okay. This is mostly for the people that are already questioning. If you're not questioning, you just want to hear what I have to say and see my perspective on it, that's fine. You can stay. But I don't want this video to make you fragile. I don't want it to crack anything. It's just my perspective. It's just my experience. For me, losing my faith and having to grapple with death, it's been a journey. I think at first I was incredibly fearful of what that would mean. One, because I didn't know if maybe I was wrong. What if I lose my faith and I go to hell? What if, because I was an evangelical. Like, that's the belief that if you're not a Christian, that you don't, if you deny the gospel, that you would go to hell. And that's a real thing I had to deal with. I eventually came to the idea that I don't believe in a hell, so I don't think I'm going to hell, but it made me fearful. During this time of loss, I felt confusion. Um, I didn't have an answer as to what was going to happen after death. I didn't have an answer as to why things were happening to people that I felt like it shouldn't be happening to. I had to grapple with my own death and what that meant. And that's all so confusing. And then I think I went through a period of numbness where I just didn't really care. I didn't want to think about it. I wasn't going to deal with it. Whatever was going to happen is what was going to happen. And I wasn't going to put too much thought into it. And I think it's okay to go through that period. It was necessary. There's things that you can give thought to. It's just kind of like one of those things you got to pick your battles. And so numbness is okay for a while, and I did go through that, but I'm not in that stage anymore. With these deaths this year, I've had to reassess where I land. And I've been thinking about it a lot lately. And so I'd like to share some of that with you. I want it to be known that it's okay to mourn the loss of what once brought you peace. I have mourned the loss of my faith. It's been a grief journey, truly, because it's so hard. It's so hard to have certainty about something, and then for that certainty to just be poofed out of here, out of existence. There's a few things that I've been learning as this journey has progressed on where my thoughts are now on death and how I find comfort. I have found beauty in impermanence. We're all going to die. I believe there's a saying that says, like, two things that you will do in life is you're going to die and you're going to pay taxes. And that is reality. We're all going to die. There's no way to escape it. If there was, I don't know if I'd want that. I feel like a good 85 to 90 years is good with me, and I intend to do the most that I can with it. Things are not permanent. Things will end. It makes you appreciate it so much more. It's beautiful to see a flower bloom, but you know that that flower is not going to last forever. So you enjoy it in the early spring and in the summer, and you watch it as it wilts in the summer heat and it fades away during the fall, and eventually it completely dies. But you know that because it's impermanent, it's going to die. You know that there's going to be re-life, there's going to be rebirth next year. When the spring comes back around and it's no longer stick season, you're going to see the beauty of the flower again. I think that's a great metaphor for life. We don't just die, there's rebirth. There's always going to be a continuation on. At least that's my belief. And by continuation on, I don't necessarily mean heaven. That would be cool. There's beauty in knowing that there is impermanence. You're going to live a cycle. You're going to live a life cycle. Something else that I've been learning is the importance of the legacy that you leave of love, of service, and of connection. I feel like one of my life's greatest purposes is to love people, to be there for them, to be of service to them. And maybe that stems from my previous Christian beliefs, but that's something that I carried on after Christianity. I used to fear that whenever I lost my faith, that all of my morals would be gone. I feared that I wouldn't be who I was. I feared that my personality would change, but it's not true. After Christianity, I became better of a person. I learned to love deeper. I learned to value community more. I learned to love community differently. I learned that it looks differently. I learned that I can love deeper because I don't have stipulations on how I can love someone and how I can show up for somebody. I love somebody for their whole being, not just parts of them, and hope and wish that there were parts that changed. I can love them for who they are. I learned that community is one of the greatest things that we could ever experience as humans. It's necessary for thriving. And I intend to live my life to make an impact on my community. Physically, my family and my friends, but the greater community of where I live. I want to plant myself here and make an impact on these people. I want to leave a legacy that shows love. and gentleness. That's my greatest desire in life. I learned the importance of mindfulness and presence. Some of these videos that you've seen, I've been practicing mindfulness and practicing slow living, taking a taking a second and breathing and experiencing fresh air and experiencing nature. Those things are so deeply important to me now because that's what life's all about, is presence. Being present with the people that I love, being present in nature, being present in my own body. I'm not living life on autopilot now. I'm not living life on autopilot in my own brain, but also I'm not on autopilot letting a God control everything that I do. I'm the pilot. Isn't that like a meme? Like, I'm the pilot now. Something like, I'm the captain now. Something like that. I've just seen the meme. Um, but yeah, I'm the pilot now. I decide what goes and what doesn't go. And there has been nothing more fulfilling than being the pilot of my own life. Governing my own life. It's made me a better person, truly. I'm a much better person now than I was when I was a Christian. Mindfulness and presence helps me realize that life is now. Life is here. The people that I see, the people that I interact with, they're here. I'm present with them. I'm not so wrapped up in the fear of death because while it does matter, what matters is what I'm doing now. My comfort now for death comes from living a life of love, of impact, and presence. I get so much comfort from the idea that I'm returning to the earth. I'm becoming a part of a natural cycle when I die. Like the flower, I bloomed, I withered, and I faded till death. But there will be a natural cycle, and whether it's me or another person on this earth, there will be a rebirth. And that's beautiful, and there's so much comfort in that. What I do now with my life matters in the end. Because like I said, what legacy I leave behind, it matters. You don't need belief to find peace. And that's something that I struggled with at first. I felt like I wasn't able to find peace, that my faith was the only thing that could bring me peace. And it's not true. I am much more peaceful now than I was as a Christian. I find so much peace in nature and breathing and beauty and art and love and connection. You don't need the faith to create peace. You can create peace in your own way, whatever that looks like for you. And you can make peace with impermanence. You can make peace with this life without a hope of there being another life, a heaven, a hell. You can make peace without those things. There's a quote by the philosopher Marcus Aurelius that I really enjoy in his work on Stoicism. And he states, "What you do in this life echoes in eternity." And I'm not sure. I think Marcus probably was Catholic, maybe. So he may have been talking about heaven. But how I take it is what you do in this life matters because it's going to leave a legacy that will continue through generations and generations. And while I may not necessarily be having children, I hope to leave a legacy behind with the people that I love and I care for in my community. I think that that's a beautiful statement. What you do in this life echoes in eternity. That's fire. If you're in this place of questioning, of fear, of uncertainty, I want you to know that you're not alone and that I see you and that I've been where you are. You're allowed to feel scared. You're allowed to feel fearful. Those feelings will come and they will go, but you will be okay. But you're also allowed to still find beauty and comfort in this life alone. That's really all the thoughts that I have on this topic. Just a brief one here for you. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments how you find peace in this life without your faith. Or if it is with your faith, let me know that. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with listening to that. I want to leave you on one last comment, and that is, whatever comes after this life, we're here now. And that is what matters. So whatever beliefs you hold on to, make a positive impact on this cruel world now, because it matters. Like always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for just being here. I really have enjoyed these videos so much. Like, comment, and subscribe so we can keep making these videos and keep talking and building this community. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you for being alive. I'll catch you on the next one. Oh, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. There's flowers and there's bees. What more could you want? Life is good, man. Whoa. Did y'all see that? There was a bee. They're like all around. I don't think you can see them. Oh, they're crazy. Okay, I love you so much. Bye.